I want to talk about realtors because right now I have a lot of realtor partners that have the expense of staging
Mm.
on their credit card bills, and they're trying to identify, because the market has shifted, obviously, trying to identify a solution to that. And I heard you talking earlier about you're not doing any staging, which is fascinating to me because you would think as a real estate agent and a designer that that would be your thing, right? That you would have warehouses full of staging stuff, and that would be why people hire you, because you help sell their listing.
Mhm.
So help us understand, how do you not pay for any staging, still sell the house? Like, how do you do that with your clients? Hi there, I'm Jess Uphoff. This is my co-host, Elise Santani. And here we are at this week's episode of This Jess'd In. We have our friend, business partner, and just someone we admire so much. We're here with Madison Subry-Gardner. Madison wears many hats, but her primary thing that she does outside of being a mom is she is an amazing designer. And she's also a real estate agent. And what else do we have going on, Madison?
All the things.
I know,
I have all the
a
things
mom of
going on.
3 children under the age of
Four.
4. Okay.
Mhm.
That's so easy.
I do want to dive right in because I'm dying to know. There's so many listings on the market. And I know we had a conversation before we started today about that a lot of listings are just sitting, not selling, price reducing.
Yep.
And what you and I were talking about is that it's the shiny penny that sells. And what I'm seeing from my vantage point is the shiny penny is getting multiple offers and going under contract fairly quickly once the price is right. And then the non-shiny pennies, the ones that need updating and are not the best value on the street, and they're not the shiny penny, are the ones that are sitting in price reducing.
Yeah.
So what I think agents, our agent partners, and our clients that tune into our show would love to know is, how do you become the shiny penny without spending a fortune? Because I think everybody's in a financial pinch right now in one way or another, especially when you're trying to sell a house and the market conditions are different today in terms of, the house they're going to, what they're going to have to spend,
Yeah.
interest rates. So how do we invest in a house to make it the shiny penny without it costing an arm and a leg?
So when we go in for listing appointments, usually there's a couple things that we tell people to do. Almost always. And that's paint. Paint is easy. It's not a huge cost, and you get it back. Usually
So paint's a given.
paint's a given. Paint, if it hasn't been painted in the last, let's say, 5 to 6 years, paint is an easy way to upgrade the house. And the paint trend has kind of changed. Colorado is kind of always the last on the trend wagon. The coasts always get the trends first, and Colorado is a real holdout. But the trend has changed from the two-tone paint and doing beige or gray walls and white trim to picking the same paint color on your trim as your walls, as your ceiling. That's all the same paint color. It's a different sheen, but same paint color. That's a really easy way to update the house. The next thing that we usually tell people and is very affordable is lighting.
The builder fixtures.
The builder fixtures.
Don't move the needle.
They don't move the needle. And
no one wants a light that looks like a boob, like an upside down boob. Nobody wants that.
No, they
Like,
don't.
that's what it looks like.
They don't. It is what it looks like. And it's just boring. And it's such an easy way to upgrade a house.
Yeah.
When you walk in, and instead of having the gold lantern light fixture or the builder grade bronze that was in 20 years ago, you upgrade it with, there's a million lights on Amazon.
Yeah.
Seriously. I get
And
Amazon lights
expensive.
all the time. I send them to clients. Order this. It's $150 for your entryway light, and it's going to be a huge difference maker when people walk in, and that first impression. And that first impression is so important. So that's another place I will focus, is making sure that the when they come in the door, that first impression is good.
Yeah.
Taking down, all of the sentimental things, the knickknacks. People want to envision themselves in that space. And so it's important when we walk through, a potential listing, it's always, you don't want to step on people's toes, and you don't want to make them feel like, oh, your stuff is so hideous, please take it all down. But people want to envision themselves in the house. And so when you have your, precious item that you got on your honeymoon 30 years ago, that's this painted sculpture, sitting up on the shelf, that's not what they're going to put there. And so making it very clean, very decluttered is another free thing you can do to help your listings move, is just telling people to really declutter.
So declutter, get all your knickknacks, all the personal items out, lighting, paint. What else? Clean, right? Make sure your house is
clean.
immaculately clean.
Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't smell. You don't have dog hair and cat hair everywhere.
Yes.
Like no sign of animals.
Yeah.
Right?
No sign of animals. We always tell that to people too. Playrooms picked up, stuff off the fridge. One thing we always tell people when we're taking photos is to take down any towels, hand towels, rugs in the kitchen, rugs in the bathrooms. It just gives the appearance. One, you can't see the tile sometimes,
right?
And then two, it just gives the appearance of very lived in.
Yeah.
And people don't want it to feel very lived in.
Yeah.
So that's another easy thing people can do is, make sure it's clean.
What color? Okay, so you were talking about the walls. So the ceiling matches the wall, matches the trim.
Mm-hmm.
What color is kind of like your go-to color that is always a showstopper?
That's $1 million question.
Yeah.
I think I get asked about paint. Probably that's one of my number one
Well,
questions.
it's so hard because it's like blue. Well, there's 100 shades of blue.
Right.
White, there's 1,000 shades of white. I mean, everything.
You're
and
not
it
going
looks
to make
different.
your trim blue, though, right?
Well, no.
Okay.
Right?
I'm just
Would
trying
you?
to follow.
Okay,
Because I think my house is out of date now.
Let's say there is the trend, another trend that we use a lot that we're seeing on the design side of things is paint drenching. So that's when we keep, again, all of the same color, but it's a color. So it's not white, it's a blue, or color makes me a little twitchy, but like a version of a very mild color. So
I've seen you do it with like that greenish color.
A green color, a blue, blue undertones, green undertones, nothing that is turquoise, but paint drenching a room that in
a tasteful color.
And a tasteful color, a timeless color looks really great. So I love that. But back to the question of white.
Yeah.
I would say there's 3 whites that are my go-to. Alabaster is one. Greek Villa is another. Alabaster is Sherwin-Williams. Greek Villa is Benjamin Moore. No, Greek Villa might be Sherwin-Williams too. I don't know. Fact check me on that.
Google it.
Google it. And then I like Ivory Lace as well.
Okay.
They're all soft whites.
Okay.
So if you're looking for something brighter white, Snowbound is good as well. But we're seeing more of a move to like a soft white paint color. It feels cozy but clean.
Yeah, because sometimes you see white paint and it's like you need to wear sunglasses to deal with how bright it is.
Right. And sometimes it looks like that builder grade.
Totally.
Like we didn't, there's no customization here. It's just we painted all the walls white. That's not the intention. I will say I would never put alabaster on the walls with a bright white trim. It's really important. It will look yellow. Greek Villa will look yellow. Alabaster will look yellow. It will look yellow if you don't paint your trim and your doors, your ceilings. So it's important to paint the trim and the doors. Mm-hmm.
The same white as
color.
Your wall.
Yes, just the different sheen.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Good to know.
What's the sheen that you use on your walls?
Usually eggshell.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So sellers thinking about selling, and you said earlier, if you're thinking about selling in the next 2 to 5 years, to start thinking about things that you need to address. So where in the house does your house need some updating, some renovation? Maybe even have your realtor come over to your house and just walk your home with you and say, I want to get top dollar.
Right.
Where should I focus my efforts first? Now, if I'm selling in 2 to 5 years, do the trends change so fast that like I dump a bunch of money today
Yeah.
into a project in my
Right.
bathroom and then, what's your thoughts on that?
No, I think that this is where we're seeing the difference in the market of the shiny penny versus the house that's sitting on the market. And we like to tell our clients to try to do one project a year so that when you sell your house, even if you don't sell your house for 20 years, at least you were doing one thing a year so your whole house isn't stuck in 2002
Yeah.
or 1990 or whatever that may be. You did one project a year to kind of keep up with the house. And that may mean, it's one space looks a little bit different than the other, but at least a buyer doesn't have to come in and say, okay, I have to paint, I have to do floors, I have to do cabinets, I have to do countertops, I have to do backsplash, the tile on the fireplace is bad. And that is where we are at with a lot of homes currently on the market, is that they're walking in and nothing has been done. And just, paint alone can cost a significant amount of money if you're painting the whole house, right? You can spend anywhere from, on a small house, $3,000 to $20,000 on interior paint.
Yeah.
So keeping up with some projects as you live in the house is important. But not everyone does that. And so we come in a lot of the times and we will tell people where to spend their money wisely,
Yeah.
where their biggest bang for their buck is. And, the old saying of, kitchens and baths sell houses is still true. Kitchens and baths sell houses. If your kitchen is redone and your bathroom is stuck in the 90s, that's helpful. At least your kitchen is redone. But a lot of times we'll come in and we'll say, okay, let's redo the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, let's pick new tile, let's get a new vanity, and let's just upgrade the space so that we bring it, current.
Yeah.
What are mistakes you see people make that don't have the advice from a good professional when they just decide to remodel their house? What are the number?
Oh my god.
Well, because most people don't know. Like, honestly, most people are like, oh, this looks cute. And they just slap whatever
Or
up.
they like I've heard stories about people like investing way too much money in a kitchen and then it impacting their ability to find a comp to get their return on what they invested. So just like, what are the top things you see that people regret? I know one is solar, and that's not a renovation thing, but solar never seems to be a good investment.
No, just
ever.
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Tell them no
Don't do
politely
it.
and close the door.
Do you know how many times people say to me, wait, why don't you like solar? I'm like,
Oh
I don't know,
my
but it has something to do with the lending side and selling your house, and just don't do it.
Just don't do it.
It's never good.
It's never good. That's fine. I was on the phone with my mom the other day, FaceTiming with the kids, and somebody came to my door, and I'm like, no, we don't do it. We don't do it. And my mom's chirping in, this is why we don't do it. I'm like, Mom, I got it. I got it. Anyway, if you know her, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I would say the biggest mistakes people make, there's so many. People have the best intention.
Top few.
Yeah, but I think that painting the wrong color,
Okay.
not testing the paint, like test your paint,
Right.
Your house, just based off of, we live in Colorado. Like, if you have a north facing house, it's going to look different than if all your light is coming in from the back in the south. It's going to look different. So test the paint, make sure that it doesn't look yellow or, it's not too gray. People paint the two-tone all the time. And they pick a gray paint, which is trending out. And they think, oh, well, it's updated, it's painted. I just had 2 clients literally in the last month that closed on a house. They're not old houses. They're 2016 and 2018. And they repainted the whole house. And it was because the walls were gray and the trim was bright white. And so they did the opposite is now very in trend. So light, creamy white walls and then a little bit darker grayish putty color trim. And so that's what they did. The house looks completely different.
Right.
Just because of the paint.
Mm-hmm.
So picking the right paint, that's crucial. That can make a huge difference. But the biggest thing is people trying to match ugly. Like, seriously.
Give me an example.
So you have ugly granite.
Yeah.
The granite is dated.
Yeah.
You have Ubatuba or you have Venetian gold that was really in 25 years ago, and you're trying to match your gold paint to your gold, your gold countertops to your paint color or to your cabinets or to your floors. That's a huge one. They're refinishing their floors, but they're not going to do their counters and their cabinets. And so they're trying to redo their floors and still keep it looking good with something that's outdated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
And countertops, in the grand scheme of things, have come down in price, right? Like you can get something that's really up levels the house where you're not spending, right?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
And another thing I think people don't know is painting your cabinets is not what painting your cabinets used to be. There's so many professionals that can paint cabinets really well, and they're not going to stick. Yes, don't do it yourself.
Oh God,
they're not going to stick. They're not going to look bad. That's an easy thing that if you have cherry cabinets, that makes a huge difference. If you're going to just paint your cabinets and
hire professional.
But hire professional.
Yeah. Okay.
They spray them. They prep them. They spray them, and they look great. We do it all the time.
Okay. You said cherry. I heard you say earlier that Brimfield, that's where we live. A lot of the houses sitting on the market are outdated, and it's because a lot of it has to do with the design at the time, right? When these homes were built. So a lot of them are built when? Early 2000s?
Yeah, I mean, I think Broomfield had this big boom in early 2000s where you got Broadlands, you got Wildgrass. I mean, those are two huge, Aspen Creek, right? Those three right there are huge. Broomfield, McKay. I mean, you've got some big neighborhoods that all went in about the same time. And now they're showing their age with the oak floors and the cherry cabinets.
All the built-ins.
And that really dark wood, like mahogany, is everywhere, right? And that's not in anymore, correct? Okay.
No,
that's
the really, really dark. Well, I would say that there are pieces of dark wood that are coming back as accents, some beams or island design, but not in general.
Not your full cabinet,
not your floors.
Builder.
I mean, you want to talk about something that makes your house feel darker, make your floors dark.
And dirty. You see everything.
For sure.
I have a girlfriend who just redid her floors, and she did them really dark, and it looks beautiful when they're clean, but you see every piece of dog hair in the wintertime with salt and stuff on your I mean, she is constantly Swiffering.
Yeah, maybe not in Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, not in Colorado. Not a great. And just in general, if you're looking to brighten your house, paint and floors are going to make a huge difference.
In floors is something. So I guess that we should tell people that you did my house. I called you like 5 years ago, probably.
Which is crazy.
It's so weird. And I got a quote for my boys' bathroom. I have 2 little boys. You guys know this. And the quote for their teeny, teeny, tiny little bathroom was like $50,000. And I'm like, I'm not.
To get a bathroom done?
Yes. And I was like, I'm not paying $50,000 for these little kids.
Some bathroom quotes. I get that a lot. People
couldn't
get really
even
crazy
believe
bathroom quotes. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And so I called Madison and I said, hey, I know that I don't know if you want to do this or not, but am I being ripped off? Will you just come and look at this bathroom and tell me if $50,000 is realistic? And she's like, okay. Well, one thing leads to another, and by the time she left, my husband was fully on board. We were moving out of our house, and we were redoing the whole entire thing.
You were emptying your investment account.
100%. We had $0 left. And we were moving out. We're taking down walls. We're doing all this stuff. But the whole thing was so interesting to me because I learned a ton in something like floors, which makes the biggest difference ever. Like, my floors were not that expensive. You can do flooring that, you know, you do LVP or, but the color of more people ask me about the color of my cabinets and the color of my floor.
Yeah.
And it just, I mean, you completely transformed my house, but working with you was so interesting. And I love how you just created design boards and you showed me all this stuff. And you now have taken it to this other level of making it so accessible for really anyone, not even people working with you, to be able to shop the things that you're shopping.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me more about this.
Well, your house was so fun. Elise was a dream client, actually.
I'm
in. I'd be like, "What do you think, Elise? Do you like this or this?" And she's like, "I don't know.
I'm like, I don't know.
hired you." I'm like, "Oh, I love you."
But just do whatever you want to do.
I think your house is a testament to having somebody help you and, you know, liking it. I think your house, I mean, we post your house still all the time. You know,
love it.
5 years later, we picked very timeless things. I literally just showed somebody your fireplace this morning. So I feel like, you know, having somebody help you, if you are deciding to take on a big renovation or you're building, it is worth the investment. Not even me, but hire a designer. Bring somebody on, because it makes a huge difference when it comes to walking in your house and feeling like it's finished and feeling like you spent all this money and you want it to look like the Pinterest pictures that you have been saving and saving and saving. And the truth of it is, nicely, people have a hard time executing the Pinterest picture.
Yeah.
You know, they look at it and they're like,
consumers or builders or both?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Builders often as well, you know, but consumers will see something, and it's so funny. I'll ask clients all the time. I'll say, "Okay, you told me that you want white cabinets. But can you show me, you know, show me your inspiration picture, show me what you're liking." And then they'll send me 5 pictures that are not white cabinets, you know, that are putty colored cabinets, or actually dark gray cabinets, or green like, you know, they people just don't, if you're not
are white
in
cabinets
this,
out?
White cabinets are,
they're out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't put white cabinets in right now. Not bright white. Again, that like creamy, softer colors are really in. The putty color is very in. But yeah, bright white. No. The shaker style's out.
Yeah. What's shaker style? What does that mean?
Just the square edge, instead having like a little extra detail. So having a little bevel. I mean, like the McGee style is very cottage, transitional. And I think that's kind of what most people are chasing, is that aesthetic.
And that's your aesthetic too.
Oh, you're sweet.
You know, like you have I just go on your page and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love every single thing. That's why when I worked with you, it was so easy for me to say, I don't know, like, I really don't know. You pick. You are the expert. You know better than I do, because I would just piecemeal things together and it would look awful.
Sure.
So I think that I would imagine a lot of people trust you that same way, because your work speaks for itself.
Oh, you're very nice. Thank you.
And people can buy your stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, so we try to post, we try not to gatekeep, you know, a lot of product. We try to share on our Instagram what products that we're using. We just posted this morning about paint and sheen, like what you need to pick for your walls, what you should pick for your ceilings, what, you know, you should pick for your trim. Because just simple mistakes like that, if you do it through your whole house on a custom build or, you know, whatever, that's a costly mistake that you walk in and you're like, oh, I don't like that. You know, instead of having somebody kind of guide you through that process and through those selections.
Yeah.
It's as detailed as those selections are, because you get really into the nitty gritty details, and one little detail like that can make a big difference. And people get so burnt out on the selections. So, anyway, that's a tangent, but yes, people can shop our stuff. We post We post a lot on our Like to Know It, so you can shop our product there. We actually, I worked in new home sales for 7 years with a builder in Northern Colorado, and we do all of their models now. And when I was doing model home sales, or when I was doing new home sales and working in a model home, I got asked all the time, where our furniture was from, where our product was from. So when I was there, I was like, if I ever do this side of things, if I ever do the furnishing side of things, they should post, a QR code where you could shop this model house. So if you go to any of our models, if you go to any of the Hartford Homes models in Northern Colorado, there's QR codes and you can shop the house that you're in.
Love that.
Which is kind of cool,
Yeah,
right?
that is
Like
really cool.
I love this coffee table. Where did the designer
Right.
get this coffee table? And you can go shop it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think too, if someone likes your aesthetic, everything that I've seen that you're posting where you can shop the stuff that you buy, it all is kind of in that same family. So if you're someone who's like, I want to redo my living room, but it's overwhelming because there's a million, you go on Amazon, there's 1,000 different choices for every single thing you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yours is curated. And I imagine that it would be pretty hard to mess it up if you're shopping the items that you've picked,
Yeah.
given that you kind of have, the same aesthetic.
Yes.
Right?
So we actually are launching a website.
Tell me more.
Probably at the end of the year, maybe beginning of next year, we'll see when we can get it live. But I probably get asked at least once a week, maybe more than that, sometimes multiple times a week from friends, which I love. But like, which rug should I buy? And then I'm looking at the ones they're sending me. I'm like,
None of them.
And
Try again.
Try
Yeah,
again.
but then people are like, what? I thought I did a really good job.
I know.
It's like there's a lot of options.
I think my backbone is just I've gotten, the amount of times you have to like nicely say no. I think I'm an expert at that.
Yeah.
But I just get asked all the time, from curtains to rugs to pillows, to furniture, what people should use. And so I think Amazon and Wayfair are great. We order a lot of stuff from there. I do have a little shop on Amazon that you can look through. But it's so overwhelming. There's 20,000 options for rugs. So no wonder,
Yeah.
it's hard to pick.
And you don't know, are they quality? Are they going to fall apart in
Right.
one day?
Right.
Like, what am I getting?
Exactly. So we have put together a website. It's very curated. It's stuff that we have more likely than not used.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy.
Yeah.
There is not a million options. If you want a million options, there's a million places you can go look for a million options. But the idea behind this was, here's 20 rugs that we really like.
Yeah.
We've personally used, and are pretty neutral. Will go with a lot of things. So you don't have to be me, you don't have to be the expert
Yeah.
to put furniture with it to make it look good. Or another example that we have on our website that I'm really excited about is pillow combinations. So we will help people when we're listing all the time too. That's like an easy upgrade, is bedding.
Yeah.
Make your bedding look crisp and clean.
Yes.
Change out your duvet or your comforter for something that's white sheets, and just a few accent pillows, a blanket layered at the bottom. But I digress again. That's an easy thing. We do bedding a lot, but people get really overwhelmed with pillows and how
Yeah.
to layer the pillows and how to layer the bedding and make it look like our photos are, like a curated bed, and make it look really nice and put together. And so on our website, there's pillow combinations. So you just buy the pillow combination, you see it all together, you see how you're supposed to place
Pillows
it.
are outrageously expensive.
They
Yeah.
are.
Why are they so?
They are.
To get like really nice pillows that are like throw pillows.
Mhm.
Like I had no idea how expensive. Yeah.
pillows are. Yeah, they can be.
And you don't want to buy cheap
No.
because they don't look
No.
the same.
I've had this conversation.
You want the ones that you like put your arm
Yes,
in it to get it
yes.
to crease, and then
Yeah.
it stays that way, and it's very nice.
Yes.
I've had clients before show me pictures of homes that I've done that have spent a good amount on pillows. They've ordered nice pillows. They have nice inserts, and which, by the way, are not crazy expensive. If you buy the pillow cover and then you go buy the inserts are like, $25 for two.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
crazy.
Right.
And it's the down pillow.
Mm-hmm.
So swapping out your inserts is easy, but they've shown me projects that we've done that we've spent a lot on pillows and like asked me to shop at Target, and then not been thrilled with the result of what that looks like, and it's hard. You're like, well,
Yeah.
this person spent $600 on their pillows, and it was important to them to put the investment into that so that it looked really nice. And the Target pillow is not going to give you the same aesthetic.
Right.
So what we have on our website is definitely middle of the road as far as cost. They're not super expensive, but you order the insert separate so that it feels really great. And there's the pattern on the front with the solid on the back, so it looks really expensive and it looks really curated. And part of it looking really nice is just making sure it looks all good together.
Yes. I think that is where people run into trouble, because it's just so many moving parts and then how do you make sure that it all goes together? So being able to just go to your website, see everything that's kind of in your brain, it's tried and true, it's good quality, and you know that it will flow well and go together.
Yep.
And something that I can say, a little shout out to you, is that when I worked with you, I remember from the very beginning, you said two things. One, you need to have a general contractor. You are a decorator, you're not a general contractor. So I had to do that. You said two, no matter how we prepare, something is going to go wrong. Like, there is not a world where we won't run into one little thing.
And you had that weird wall. That was your thing, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Surprise. Yes.
Yes.
I had a weird wall. And I mean, it wasn't the end of the world. And that's another thing, is that you didn't come to me like, oh my God, you came to me with, okay, so this is what happened, but here's how we're going to fix it, which saved me, because it's really stressful, And then, of course, you're going to run into things like, oh, that's out of stock, or that's, little things like that. But you really came with solutions instead of problems. And you were just wonderful to work with, but you were very honest about, like, this is not going to be all roses and rainbows. Like, we're going to get annoyed with each other sometimes, which I don't really think that we did very often.
Yeah,
barely ever. And like, it's just a lot. There's a lot of things going on. And I loved working with you. And I still walk into my house like, oh my gosh, this is just amazing. But everything flows, everything matches. And we should also go back to the $50,000 child's bathroom that is probably 200 square feet, this bathroom. I can't remember exactly what we spent on it, but it was like under $5,000 on the boys' bathroom.
Yeah.
And we got a brand new.
Should have sent pictures to that.
We painted the cabinets.
Yep.
We did new tile.
Yep.
And new mirrors.
Yep.
We
got a new
rid
tub.
of the builder grade, single glued on mirror that everybody has. Those are, again, just like easy things. Then adding the framed mirrors, like that, just with a sconce in the middle, it makes it look so much nicer and more intentional. It's all the intentionality behind things. That's something I tell people often, of maybe if it's like a client that can't afford to work with us, but they want some help. Don't buy furniture sets. Don't do that, because the reason that it looks cheap is, one, because it is cheap, but two, because it looks like you put zero thought.
Well, because you do put zero thought. You go to Furniture Row and you say, okay, I want that bedroom set. Right. And then it all is matchy-matchy. And
then there's just no intentionality behind it. Whereas when, you're working with a designer, there's so much intentionality behind what you're doing. And it doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to just go to RH and order everything from our house, from RH, like, you don't have to do that. I think that we're really experts in ordering really nice pieces of furniture. I think that there's something to be said about putting the investment in to nicer quality pieces that are going to hold up with your kids, because I get that a lot. If people are like, I have kids, I don't want to spend a lot of money. It's like, well, okay, well, your couch is going to look like it's ruined, like you have kids in,
Right.
2 months with my kids, because the applesauce isn't going to come out.
Right.
The spit up is going to stay
And
stained.
there's really
Yes.
nice furniture that's like super durable. Like you can go to
Right.
RH and buy a couch that is like
Right.
that outdoor,
Yes, the
and it's
Krypton.
like basically you're indestructible,
Indestructible.
right? And
Yep.
it looks nice. Why
Yep.
not enjoy nice furniture with kids and have the ability to have it be
Right.
indestructible?
Yep.
Have the nice couch and then maybe go to Home Goods and have
Yeah.
your picture frames from
Yeah.
Home Goods. Or
Right.
your, it's like,
For sure.
I think
Pick and
that you,
choose.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
there has to be a balance.
Yes.
To make everything work. And you really are an expert at that.
Yeah, I try really hard to make sure that we're, making it accessible, so that it's not like, you have to spend 50 grand on one room.
Right.
That's not, most people aren't going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I love Target.
Yeah. I know.
We source a lot of our stuff, and get ottomans from Target. Like the Magnolia line and the Studio McGee line are awesome.
Mhm.
There are awesome pieces that you can use without
Breaking the bank.
breaking the bank. Yeah.
I want to talk about realtors because right now I have a lot of realtor partners that have the expensive staging on their credit card bills, and they're trying to identify, because the market has shifted, obviously, trying to identify a solution to that. And I heard you talking earlier about you're not doing any staging, which is fascinating to me, because you would think as a real estate agent and a designer that would be your thing, right? That you would have warehouses full of staging stuff, and that would be why people hire you, because you help sell their listing.
Mm-hmm.
So help us understand, how do you not pay for any staging, still sell the house? Like, how do you do that with your clients?
We go in and we help them use what they have. We don't, I should clarify, not that we don't ever do staging in terms of, I'll bring in a third party company to stage a house every now and then. Usually we pass that. We tell the client this is something that they're going to need to pay for to sell the house. But I think that staging is a great tool. I think that making your house look, again, intentional is awesome. I feel like right now we're in this weird market of a lot of our clients personally are not moving out of their house until they sell their house. So we're working with the furniture that they have, and I'm coming in and saying, like, you need to take this out, you need to take this out, you got to take down the curtains, we got to replace the outdated lighting, some of that stuff, but working with the furniture that they have. Remove all the turquoise pillows, put them in storage. Just leave your leather sofa that's a sectional with the the reclining.
With a cooler in the middle.
It's not my favorite thing, but we're going to work with it.
Cooler. The beer holder.
Correct. That is what we're working with. It's not my favorite, but it's going to look a little better if we take the turquoise pillows off. The other thing that we're doing is we're using AI to virtually stage a lot of our listings. And my sister does a lot of the back end of that, but she started using my furniture or my designs, and we take out the furniture that's in a room with AI, and then we replace it with furniture that I've selected.
Oh, wow.
Into a space. So that's kind of a cool
Wow.
new tool
That's
that
very
I think
cool.
agents have access, is pretty easy.
Yeah.
And agents have access to that is better than a lot of the programs that have been out there previously of the virtual staging.
Yeah.
What do you think
So-
of the staging that when you walk into a home that you're showing and another agent staged the home? Like, what's your thought on staging in general from a design standpoint?
I think that a lot of model homes and a lot of staging companies are outdated. They're using outdated items. They're using outdated design techniques. For example, like the models that we walk sometimes, they have the big statue on the coffee table and this like very weird art on the walls, and yes, all the colors go together, but nobody's actually decorating their house like this, and it's definitely not what's on trend in terms of like social media trends and the like that cottage transitional trend that's very, very heavily influencing the interior design world right now. Not keeping up with that at all. And so I think that staging looks better than it being vacant in a lot of cases. You know, helping people visualize what a space can look like, I think is helpful. But as an agent, I don't think that it's necessarily an expense that the agent needs to take on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you and your team have been able to.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's smart. How do you work with your clients? Like, do most of your clients hire you before they buy their home? So a lot of the customs you're doing, you work with them as they're building their house?
Yeah.
Basically. Is that your favorite thing to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the earlier you can bring a designer on, the better. So the cool thing about our team is that we have the design and the real estate. You know, they go hand in hand. I think people feel like, oh, it's one or the other. It's not. They go together so well in so many different ways, right? And in ways of like, I can tell you, this morning I met with a client and I said, you know, yes, we can redo this weird fireplace wall and the house is going to sell faster. You're not going, the return is going to be about what you spend. Like, you're not going to get tenfold like you are with the kitchen.
Right.
Or with your bathroom. Like, and I can just tell you that. I don't have to look up any numbers. I can tell you what that's going to cost roughly to do. Yeah. And I can tell you what your return is going to be. But in terms of like when clients engage with us from our design firm perspective, if they're building a custom right away, we like to be involved from like architectural plans, because I will look at a space as a floor plan and I can tell you, like, why is that window there? That's going to cause me I think that my brain is a little different in that I can like visually stand in that space and visualize that window being in the kitchen and it's asymmetrical and that's going to be weird, and how am I going to design this kitchen around this window that's here. So the earlier the better, obviously. And I think that there is a lot of value in all of those pieces, but the biggest being, if you're going to build a custom house, or if you're going to invest in a huge renovation, you are already making a large investment. Hiring somebody that does this as their profession on a regular basis helps you avoid costly mistakes that could end up being the design fee in itself. Picking the wrong floor, picking the wrong paint color. Like, if you're going to do this, you want to walk in and love it.
Yeah.
Like, you want to walk in and all your Pinterest pictures are coming to life. Like, you want it to feel good. And I think that when people don't engage in a designer, it falls short because they lack the layers in the space. They're, not hanging artwork properly at the right height, or, like simple things that just, it falls short. They're not taking the cabinets to the ceiling, or, small things that they're like, oh, we can circumvent, we can save here. And then they miss the boat on the aesthetic. Whereas I can sit down with someone and say, you can save here. Like, this is a good place to save. This is not a good place to save. This is going to really compromise the look that I know you're trying to get.
Yeah.
But you don't know that. If this is the only house you've ever custom built or the only renovation you've ever been through, you don't know that.
Yeah.
That's not in your wheelhouse. So.
Yeah.
Something that you taught me that I tell everybody is you always say every single window should have a curtain on it. It doesn't necessarily need to close, but they should have curtains on the side of them.
Curtains or Roman shade
Yeah.
of some sort. Yeah. So I think that that's a place that if you walk into models or you walk into well-designed homes, they almost always have great window coverings.
Mm-hmm.
And those are not cheap too.
They're not. You know, there are we've linked a lot of curtains that we love on Amazon that don't break the bank. And just simply like hanging them at the right height so they just skirt the bottom of the floor makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people just don't hang them. You don't want high water curtains.
Yeah.
It doesn't
ones
look good.
that are way too long.
Yes, or ones that are way too long. So I think, you know, simple things like that, but it adds texture. Like it adds so much texture to the wall, and that's a place that really falls flat if people don't engage a designer. Is because that's one of the final things anybody spends money on. It's an investment.
Yeah.
And so it's something that gets compromised.
Yeah.
And when we go through and do a design plan, we make sure we have a line item for window coverings because it really does add so much texture to the walls rather than just having your blank, creamy white walls.
Yeah.
It adds that extra layer. It draws your eye up, and it makes it feel finished.
Yeah.
It really makes it feel finished. Yeah.
Where are your go-to, like, what are your top 3 places that you like to shop for home goods?
Home decor.
Yeah.
I love Hobby Lobby.
Okay.
Is like a secret little, I feel like people don't shop there very often for home decor.
Yeah.
And you have to
sift.
you have to sift. One of my dreams is to have like a, you know how Studio McGee and Hearth and Hand or Magnolia, Joanna Gaines have their collaborations at Target. I would love to have a collaboration with Hobby Lobby.
Oh, you're doing that. You're doing that. Okay.
I would love that. I think that like they have great stuff, but it needs to be shown curated.
Yeah.
You know? And people walk in and they feel overwhelmed. And so that's why those collaborations at Target are so successful because you walk in and you're like, I like this, I like this, I like this of their stuff. It feels very curated. It doesn't feel like you have to sift. But I do love Hobby Lobby. We get a lot of vases from them. We get a lot of florals from them, like candlesticks, art, and like every other week they do their 40% off. So that's kind of fun.
I think that you need to have on your Instagram page a little bucket of Hobby Lobby and you need to tag them. And every time that you go there, you need to say, I got this at Hobby Lobby. It was $7.99 and I went on the week that I saved 40%.
No, we need to announce on our podcast, like, who knows the owner of Hobby Lobby?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Where
like,
are
we
you?
need to make this happen.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of followers and there's so many people who love what you're doing. And like Hobby Lobby's a big place. There's a lot of stuff to sort through.
Yes.
So, okay. So we're going to start doing that. So Hobby Lobby, you'll be there soon. What else? Who else are
we
collabing
obviously
with?
we love Target.
Yep.
We've the place that I haven't shopped at much in the last couple of years, but we've used quite a bit recently of the last 6 months is Home Goods. I really don't like Home Goods. I don't like going in there because it is
don't like it?
No, it is so hit or miss.
Yeah.
I don't like when you have to go in and you're like, they could have nothing today, or
Yeah.
they could have exactly what I need.
Yeah.
Have you seen the reels at Home Goods where they're like,
oh,
that
were you
couple-
looking
Yeah,
for
were you looking for
a zebra that was painting? Here you go. Yeah.
a zebra with balls on its head? Do you have anything like that?
Yeah. Yes, I have seen it. That
They
part
crack me up.
of that is like gives
Yes.
me anxiety. Not even gives me anxiety. It's just like annoying because sometimes I go in and I leave without anything. But they have had really good vases lately.
Yeah.
Like really good vases. Studio McGee & Co. knockoff vases. And they've had really good candles lately. So we've gotten a lot from there.
Good.
But yeah, Home Goods, Hobby Lobby, Target. Where else do we shop for like decor? Those are probably our main 3.
Yeah.
we do at home. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like people like at home, but that's another one of like, it's a huge department store and you have to talk about sift through. I
Yeah.
mean, you really have to sift through there.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff, but they have really good seasonal stuff, so we'll go there sometimes for that. Yeah, those are the top ones.
Okay.
Who will you work with and who will you not work with? Like if somebody just moved into a house and they just want like, hey, I want to just make it look nicer.
Mhm.
Will you take on a job like that or you're just doing customs?
I have been saying, lately that we really try to stick with the bigger either renovation project or customs, but we're working on right now hiring another junior designer to take on some
Oh,
of the
okay.
smaller projects.
Okay.
So, that is on our list for the next 6 months is to hire a junior designer that can help. Everything will be approved by me or my lead designer, Rachel. But there is a lot of people that just want, one room.
Yeah.
Help with one room, help with one space. And so right now, I don't have the bandwidth. I think we have like 13 or 14 projects going
my
right now.
gosh.
So I just don't have the ability to take on, somebody who wants to only spend, I say only, but, only wants to spend 10, 20, 30 grand on a project.
So you need
Like,
to have a
that's not-
couple hundred G's to work with Madison. Just
no, but if you're gonna do a big renovation, like renovations
Yeah.
are, right now, like you can't really.
I'm just kidding.
do-
I think it's
But you know what?
awesome because I've
But that
known you
goes
since
back-
high school, so I think it's awesome. I think it's amazing.
It is, and by the way, furniture is not cheap anymore.
No, it's not cheap.
Whether you're trying to find something at American Furniture or you are shopping at Crate and Barrel, our house, whatever. I just had somebody buy 2 sofas at our house and like they were $7,800 each.
So crazy.
Wow.
But
that's
that's
a
the
lot.
beauty though of this website that you're launching.
Yes,
Like
it
if
is.
you
Yes.
if you say
You
I
can
only have
point people there.
$10,000 and you're like, listen, I am really busy, and like you want to give people good service, and
Correct.
that's gonna fall off
Correct.
the radar, and then it's
Correct.
not going to be good for anybody.
Correct.
So for you to be able to say, listen, if you want me if you want to get inside my head, here, go
Yeah.
to
Yep.
Or
this
the junior
website.
designer is awesome too. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
someone
know?
that knows exactly what your
Yeah,
style
and all the
preferences
designs are approved,
Yeah.
by me. Like, I'm not going to let them send out something with, turquoise curtains.
Right.
They're going to send out
Yeah.
our style, our brand. I think that that's if you're going to hire a designer, in my opinion, I think that that's a really important thing to look for. It's like having somebody photograph your family. You want to look back at their work and you want to say, okay, they have a style, they have a brand, and I like it.
Yeah.
I am not the designer where they come to me and they're like, yeah, I want to do hot pink,
Right.
chairs or what. And I'm going to say, I'm probably not the right designer for
Yeah.
you. That's not my style. That's not my natural lean. That's not what I naturally choose. And it's going to be really hard for me to design that space.
Mhm.
I have this brand. If you really like it, that's great.
Yeah.
But if you don't, then that's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just not the person for you.
Right. That's really, I think you've identified who your customer is in such a good way. Like, okay, for you to get me, it's this aesthetic. This is likely what the budget is. It's
Yeah.
going to be this kind of a project. You also told me this when we started working together. You said you have to move out. And I said, I'm not moving out. I have 2 kids and a dog and I'm not moving out. And you're like, oh no. You're not living here.
You're
Like
not
you
living
have to move out. And I remember thinking whenever I would go to that house, like, there's not a chance I could have
There's
lived
not
there.
a chance. I just had this conversation
I-
with clients again this morning.
I would have been so mad in trying to rush every single thing.
Yeah.
Like,
You can't live there.
So Madison, how do people find you?
That's a great question. Our Instagram is great. You can see all of, a lot more of our projects in kind of a fun way. Like you can see the before video and the after video. So you can always go to our Instagram. Our Instagram is the Subry Group Design. Or you can look up Madison Subry-Gardner and I'll pop up. Our website is thesubarugroupdesign.com. And so that has our full portfolio. So you can see all of our recent projects that we've done.
And if you want to vet your rug out, text what's your cell phone number.
No. Thank you. Thanks, Jess. Bye-bye.
Just kidding.
But if they go on your Instagram, they can link up to your like to know.
we
They
have
can shop our Amazon
Yep,
page.
you can shop our
Okay.
Amazon. You can shop our like to know it, and then follow us because we are going to
Yes.
launch our website.
And you're going to inspire the rugs and the lighting and the paint
it's all
colors.
on there.
It's on your website.
It's all so it's
just
all going to be there.
And on your Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Thank you for being here today. This is not an area that I have like experience. I can't design, so I rely on people that have.
Exactly.
You're so talented, and I love her house, and I love looking at your work online, and we feel so grateful that you came here to share your experience.
You guys
and
are sweet. We love working
wisdom.
with you guys. You guys are the best. And thanks for letting me
Yeah.
talk about
Thank
design.
you.
It's so
Thank
fun.
you.